Right, that's it. Take a deep breath. It's over. We have finished second. The WSL season is over. I barely even know where to begin with this game. So much happened. It was incredibly hectic, incredibly dramatic, more dramatic than it really needed to be. What a game. It was great for the neutral, not so great for me as a fan. It was kind of the perfect summary of the insane few days that Arsenal has been on right now, from the incredible highs to nearly giving up a very promising position to just about pulling through. You really saw those last few weeks perfectly in that game. So it starts off with Arsenal getting a goal right away. It was a mistake from Man United's keeper. Chloe Kelly capitalized on it. We're up 1-0, but Man United peg one back, and it's 1-1 at halftime. I was pretty happy with the way we played in the first half, though. I think we had a lot of positive play. We were winning the ball in good positions. Our press was really high and it was working. We were taking the ball off Man United and creating chances off it. We didn't always create the best chances though. The only really good clear cut chance I think we had was Frida Monum's opportunity that she put wide of the goal. She probably should have scored on that shot, but that's kind of been a theme with Freedom Adams. She's missed a few pretty good opportunities. She has had her moments and scored, I think that's her 13th goal of the season, so clearly she does have some goal scoring prowess. But at the same time, it feels like she's missed a lot of opportunities like that. She redeemed herself later in the game, though, so I guess I can't criticize her too much yet. Uh, but at halftime 1-1, Arsenal were probably the better team, but Man United had created some solid chances. But it was up in the air, anyone's chance to really get it. And then we just explode in the second half. And when this team is like flowing, just functioning on all cylinders, it is really a joy to watch. It starts off with a penalty call. I think it was a penalty. Caitlin Ford certainly did everything she could to sell it. She made a meal out of it, but I do think it was a penalty. And of course, Caldente was calm and collected and put us up 2-1. And then all of a sudden, it's 3-1 and then 4-1. So we had gone from, a very open, up in the air game to completely in control. It was a really nice finish from Frida Monum, and honestly, a pretty nice finish from Kim Little as well. It's nice to see Little get a goal as well, and she also made a really nice run into the box to get that goal. So we were in the driver's seat, and then all of a sudden we make some defensive errors and it pretty quickly becomes 4-3. Zinsberger has faced a lot of heat in recent times, and some of it I think is probably justified. As much as I like Zinsberger, I think that she's not done the best recently. I don't think she was at fault for any of the goals conceded today, though. I'd say that she was let down by her defense on all three. The corner goal Man United scored in the first half, the whole defense seemed to kind of just shut down and let Man United get a header that ended up in the back of the net. And then it was a defensive error that gave the ball away in a really good position for Man United. And they actually nearly did make up for it, our defense, but they didn't quite do it. And the ball bounced off a player off the ground over Zinsberger. And when you're expecting a low shot and you're positioned for a low shot, I don't think there's much that Zinsberger could have done to react to this sudden change in the trajectory of the ball. So again, not really at fault for that. And then the third one was a penalty. And so none of those goals really was the goalkeeper at fault. It was more defense, which is worrying because over the past 3 games we've conceded 12 goals, and we had conceded 13, I believe, in the first 19 games. So our defense was really strong, and a lot of our success under Slager so far has been based on our defensive prowess. And now suddenly we're leaking goals insanely quick, and it's an issue that needs to be addressed because we cannot afford to play like that against Barcelona. We saw against Chelsea that Barcelona, if given any opportunity, will take it. Chelsea switch off for a second, and all of a sudden you've got your Ballon d'Or winner running 50 yards and smashing it into the net. Like it. You can't switch off against Barcelona. And that was the other thing that kind of characterized this game, was that both teams were playing for second place, but also they will have one eye on upcoming finals. For Man United, it's the FA Cup final. For Arsenal, it's the Champions League. I wish that we had had this wrapped up, and I said this game was like a perfect summary of the crazy past few days we've had, because we were in a really great position, just like we were in the league. Twice, Man United dropped points, and all we had to do was get a win, and then this game could have been meaningless. We could have already had a 4-point or even I believe a 7-point advantage over Manchester United if we had won those two games against Brighton and Villa, but rather we conceded 9 goals in those two games and we lost. So this game had more meaning than it really should have, and we very nearly blew it, but then we held on and did enough to finish second. So I think overall my thoughts on this game is Arsenal should be very disappointed in the way that they gave up a very good lead and nearly blew their advantage. At the same time, I think Manchester United should also be very disappointed for the way they let a 1-goal advantage for Arsenal turn into 3, within like 10 minutes. I do think that Arsenal in the last like 15 minutes of the game should have done more what they did against Lyon. I do think the game against Lyon was one of, if not the best performance I have seen from Arsenal since I've been watching them. And what they did when Lyon scored was they passed the ball around the back a bunch, and they took a lot of the sting out of the game. They didn't let Lyon have the ball. They played passing drills, and it was really smart, and it was the right time to do that. Arsenal didn't really ever seem to take their foot off the gas pedal in this game, which was great when they turned a 2-goal advantage or 2-1 advantage into 4-1, but not so great when you need to see out a result. And Man United did need to score 2 goals still because they had to win the game to finish second. But still, we gave them more opportunities by still going forward and trying to really do something than we probably would have if we had just slowed down the game and passed around the back a bunch, which isn't the most exciting way to play. But when you need to see out a result, that's not a bad way to do it. And I wonder if it would have been a bit less stressful in the end if they'd done that rather than keep trying to get the ball forward and keep playing some risky passes that allowed Man United to get opportunities. You know, if you kill them with a million passes and just never let them get the ball, you're in a much better position than if you keep trying to get forward and in the process lose the ball sometimes and give Man United more opportunities. But that's it. We're done. We finished second, and I'm glad we did because, again, we very nearly did blow it both in the game and the season. But we've done it, and I think this is a really good big thing for us for 2 reasons. Firstly, it means that we avoid an extra round of Champions League qualifiers. That is great. We, of course, will have, like, I'm sure plenty of us Arsenal fans will remember the Paris FC game in the first qualifying round of last year's Champions League. Both teams will know that the qualifying rounds of the Champions Leagues are very hard to get through. And PSG missed out on the Champions League this season in the qualifying rounds. And Arsenal and Man United have both missed out. So it's a very hard thing to navigate. And if you give yourself one less set of fixtures to play to get to the Champions League proper, that's a good thing. And that's important for us. But I also think it's good because it gives us a tangible sense of success. We have finished third on 4 of the last 5 seasons, and it kind of just feels like we're always the team that is there but not quite in the title conversation. And we'd seen Man United be in a title fight, drop off, then Man City were in the title fight, and then they dropped off, and Man United were back in the title fight. But all that time, we were just third, and we were the other team. And whilst we never dropped out of the Champions League spots, we also never quite managed to really challenge for the title. And that's a change this season. I think without those first 4 games under Eidevall, the way we've been playing under Slagers, we probably could have mounted a title challenge, even though Chelsea might still have ultimately won it. I mean, 60 out of 66 points is a very hard thing to beat. And if we want to beat Chelsea, it means we're going to have to probably be perfect next season. But this is a real success and something that we've actually shown we can brag about that. Like, we actually got second. We got past what we've struggled to get past for so many seasons. And if we continue this trajectory, I think we really can challenge Chelsea as long as we just don't do what we did the past 3 games. This also was potentially the last game at Emirates for Chloe Kelly. I really hope we can tie her down to a long-term deal. That would be great for us. She's provided a lot of positive play for us this season. She's been really good on the wing. I got from her interview, she kind of seemed to say like she'd done her contribution here. 2 things. She said she is really happy with how Slagers has helped her and how she's playing under Slagers, but also didn't really say I'm excited to play more. Instead, she said I've done what I need to and I've given back to this club. And I guess you can't really read too much into these interviews because players will have the media training to know they can't say too much. They won't give away too much. But I really do hope Chloe Kelly stays with us. It would be great to see. She's probably not going to be back at Man City. It's just a matter of whether she plays for us. So now we got 2 weeks to prepare for the Champions League final. I assume Van Domselaar will be in net for us then. It's gonna be a tough game. We're massive underdogs. We cannot give them any sort of opportunities. We cannot let a team back in the game the way we did Man United. We can't make defensive mistakes. We have to play a perfect game. We have to have another game like we did against Lyon. It has to be perfect. But either way, I think that I'm very happy with this season. And no matter what happens in the Champions League final, that's not going to change. It's been a good year.